Hi guys, it's Lydia and welcome back to another episode of Children of Divorce. But where do I even start? I've just been like a little bit of a mess because I'm just trying to navigate life and I think I take it so seriously all the time. Like every decision I make, everything I do is just so serious when in reality it doesn't matter. Like somehow we've all ended up on this earth together and we're living and breathing and we live in this room and you live in your place, whatever. And then we die eventually. And while we're here on this earth, all I can try to do is connect with others, love others, enjoy my life, enjoy myself, do good, eat yummy food. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. I'm always so existential. Like, I'm a really existential friend to have. So I do apologize. But it's just who I am. Take it or leave it. I think it's one of my greatest assets because it makes me pretty fun. Um, because I think now that I understand how absurd life is, I really don't have a lot of social anxiety or fear, and I will do pretty ridiculous things, and I think that makes me a fun person to be around. But it's also a bad quality to have for me because I'm constantly just questioning life, questioning the meaning of life. Um, yeah, but today I wanted to speak about social anxiety actually because I've struggled with it in the past. I definitely used to be a lot more socially anxious than I am now. I still can get socially anxious and I think it's just a good topic to speak about. This was inspired because I was in class this morning and I was just being myself. I'm like doing a group presentation and I'm just yapping, da 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 da. And I don't know why, but no one wanted to engage with me. And I don't know, maybe it's because they wanted to focus, maybe it's because whatever, but just no one was on my level. And I think they probably think I'm like a little bit of the crazy British girl that just won't stop talking when all they want to do is just focus on the presentation. But um yeah, sometimes I can leave feeling like a little depleted after social interactions, especially when I feel I've been like too silly or playful, because that's a lot of my behavior is I'm very playful. Um and I love to have fun and I love to be silly and stupid. And if I feel that I'm too much of that sometimes, I can feel really bad about myself and really anxious about that social interaction. So like that was one example, but also last week I went bowling with friends and I was like feral bowling. Like I was screaming, I was like throwing gang signs, like I was just behaving like a nutter. And like that's what I do and that's how I have fun. Like I was crazy. I was screaming and throwing gang signs. But like you guys get it. You know when you just let loose and you be yourself completely? That's what I was. And afterwards I felt a little bit like anxious and stressed out because it feels really vulnerable actually being completely yourself in front of other people because like you've shown them who you are and you've shown them your true colors and like I showed everyone completely who I was. Sometimes hiding behind like a persona is more comforting because at least you know that if people didn't like you, it wasn't really you. Um, but when you're completely yourself, it can feel quite personal if like maybe people don't vibe with you completely or people think you're weird because it's not this persona you're creating, it's actually you. And so I always feel like a little bit depleted after I've been completely myself or gone like completely crazy and been full Lydia in social interactions because I just feel like I've given so much of myself, and almost like I feel like I went out and was naked in front of everyone, you know? And I feel like I almost whore myself out a little bit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I go out there and I give ever my personality and I'm completely myself. And everyone just like takes and they don't kind of give back. And I don't know what people think of me. And I've just been myself and given myself and hold myself out. Don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean, like, you know, when you're yourself, you're very open and vulnerable. And it's scary to give yourself to people and social situations. I remember being 17 years old and I was in a netball tournament at my secondary school. For those of you that don't know netball, it's a form of ball sport. It's like basketball, but you don't move with the ball and you can't bounce it. So you just stand. But it's really fun. And a lot of like English girls play it. And I played it my entire life. And I was 17 years old and we had this like netball tournament at my school. And I went completely feral and was just so myself and so playful. And I was like screaming. And you know, when you're just being so silly and you just like let loose, I was like that. And I had so much fun. And then afterwards, I felt so bad and so guilty that I'd been myself and I'd shown myself and I was like, what if people don't like me? And people aren't gonna like me. Like, I'm not gonna satisfy everyone. I'm definitely not everyone's cup of tea. I'm definitely not the girls in my history of Rio de Janeiro's class. I'm definitely not their cup of tea when I just go on and talk about random things. And there's a risk in being completely yourself because you are less palatable to some people. I think a lot of the time I was, lessening myself, making myself more digestible to please a wider range of people. But if you try to please everyone, you're going to end up pleasing no one. And I'm going to tell you a really good fable that ties into this. I was at my friend's house, and she's a wonderful 90-year-old woman. Yes, a majority of my friends are over the age of 85, but that's besides the point. So I'm at her house and she she was telling me about this fable, and then she asked me to go and pull out her book of Aesop's fables. And so I go and get it, and she asked me to read it to her, and I'm going to tell you the story. So it's about a man, his kid, and the ass, which is a donkey. I might just say donkey, but I think an ass and a donkey are two different kinds. So you know what? I'm going to say ass just for informational, for the purpose of being historically accurate. So this man and his kid are on their way to town with this ass, and they're going to sell the ass for money. Okay? I'm going to say donkey. Okay, this man and his kid are with their donkey and they're on their way to town to sell this donkey for money. And they're walking, and a group of onlookers see them and they say, guys, what are you doing? Like, one of you should be riding the donkey. Like, it's silly that you're all walking, you're going to waste your energy. And so the man gets on the donkey. And then they're walking. The man is on the donkey, the kid is walking by their sides. And another group of onlookers see them and they say, what are you doing up on that donkey? Like, your poor kid has to walk. That's so, like, not kind of you that you get to sit on the donkey and the kid has to walk. And so then they switch. Then the kid rides the donkey and the man walks besides them. And then another group of onlookers passes and they say, kid, what are you doing riding the donkey? Look, your old man is walking next to you. That's not right. That's not right at all. The poor old man. And so then both the old man and the kid ride the donkey. And another group of onlookers pass by and they say, that poor donkey. He has to carry both the kid and the guy. That poor thing. Like, that's not fair. And so then the man and kid get off the donkey, and guess what? They tie the donkey to a big stick by its hooves, and they carry the donkey. Yeah, they tie the donkey to this big stick or pole, and they're crossing a bridge, and the donkey kicks and breaks free and falls off the pole and off the bridge and into the stream and gets carried off and away by the stream. And the man and the kid end up losing the donkey and not being able to sell it at the town and make any money. And so by trying to please everyone, they lost in the end. I just love children's fables. I mean, how clever. I wish my parents had read them to me when I was younger, because I feel like I would be running the world by now. Yeah, by trying to please everyone, you're going to please no one. And so I just have to remind myself in the moments where I feel like I'm too much, where being myself is too much for some people. I just have to remind myself that I want to fucking be too much for people. For some people. For the right people, I'll never be too much. I'm going to be more than enough. I'm going to be perfect. All these different things. But I want to be too much for some people because in life we have to take stands, guys, and we can't just be neutral about things. Those who is a friend to both sides is a friend to none. Like, you can't play both games. Like, sometimes you gotta pick who you want to be. You have to pick how you want to act. You have to pick who you want to please. You can't do it all. And that's just something that I've accepted. And it helps me sleep better at night. But it also helps me be more myself and feel better being myself, because maybe I'll be disliked by more people, but I'm not hiding behind anything. Yeah, I'm not hiding behind anything. I remember when I was like 10 years old or something, and I really liked this girl in my class. She was like a new kid. I really liked her. And one day she was like to me, "You're so clingy." And that really fucked me up a little bit because I felt in that moment that I was too much. I had a very big personality as a 10-year-old. I still do. It's not even about having a big personality. I was just a lot and I was very loud, very extroverted, very all these things, and it could be too much for a lot of people. And it was too much for her. She was like, "You're too clingy," because when I love people, I love them. And I like want to be with them all the time and, all these different things. And I think it can be unhealthy. Like, now I know I need to give people their personal space. And, I know a healthy relationship isn't needing to spend so much time with people, but if I love someone, I'll want to see them. I'll make effort to see them. Like, I will be not clingy, but I will make you feel wanted by me. And like, that was too much for her, and that's completely fine because she's a different person to me. I don't hold anything against her. I don't think she was wrong. First of all, we were 10. Second of all, people are gonna have different preferences. Like, you're gonna be too much for some people, not enough for others, whatever. I was too much for that girl. Some other people wanted nothing to do with me, and maybe I wasn't enough for them, wasn't cool enough for them, whatever. But the right people could handle me, I had friends. I had friends in secondary school. There were a lot of people that I was right for, and maybe it was only 2 years I was right for them. But there were a lot of people that I was enough for. And yeah, I was told by some I was too clingy or too loud or whatever. But a lot of people also really appreciated and loved me as their friend. And just those experiences remind me that for the right people, you'll never be too much. But in order to find those right people, you have to be okay and ready to be 100% yourself. And like letting down those walls is something really hard to do. And I built walls actually. Like I went the other direction. I think when I was 10, 11, I was very comfortable, very much myself. And then when I became 13, 14, 15, and I started to care a lot about popularity and my relevance and boys, and social status, I started to kind of build walls around who I really was. And I kind of made myself into someone else. And, when you're 15, 16, you're in a constant identity crisis. So I'm not out here saying that what I did was wrong. I think it was very normal. I think it's really normal to kind of go through a little bit of an identity crisis at that age and be a little bit of unsure about who you want to be. And you can get really lost and try to make yourself into someone that is more palatable. I think also if you're clever, which I know a lot of you are, it's really easy to like you can crack the code kind of on who to become in order for people to like you. Like you just kind of figure that out. I know I knew exactly what to do and who to make myself into in order to be liked more. Like I kind of cracked the code on popularity, and I knew how to become popular and all these different things. Yeah, becoming popular really wasn't that hard. I just made myself. I didn't make myself into anything, I just held myself back from certain things and certain elements of who I was. And then when I started to tap back into who I really was, popularity just didn't interest me anymore. Popularity is fun because it's nice to be invited to parties and to be wanted and to live the teenage dream that you see in all the movies. It's nice to feel cool. It's nice to be with cool people, to look cool, to post cool things on Instagram, all these different things. Like, popularity is popularity, okay? Sometimes we just want to be known and we want people to see us and see our faces. And I feel like popularity is kind of the equivalent of like famous people, right? It's on a different scale, but the way we view like popular girls in our school to famous people is kind of the same. Like I remember cool girls when I was 14 were like as cool to me as like the celebrities I would see online or in magazines. And that's why I think Hollywood is just an adult version of the cool girl group at school. But I think it's also cool to be yourself and to just be 1,000% you. And I think that's really fucking cool. And to not give a fuck about what others think. I think that's so much more cool. And people are starting to realize that that's more cool and authenticity is cool. Okay. And food freedom and not giving a fuck about your body and losing weight, that's fucking cool, okay? And style that reflects you, and vintage pieces that you find in like really rogue places are so much cooler than the shit you find in like all the new stores that everyone's buying and geeking out over something random. Like, I love watching David Attenborough narrated nature documentaries. That's fucking cool. That I like that. Me being a singer-songwriter, that's cool, okay? That I write my own music and post it online. And I don't know, just the things that make me me are cool to me. The things that make you you are cool. Sorry, I'm lying down because I'm just so tired and my knees hurt for some reason. But it's just cool to be you guys. Like, people are gonna realize that one day. I promise. And like, it's changing. The change is happening. Like, we're all gonna be the cool kids. You heard it here first. But like, it's fucking cool to be yourself. And popularity isn't all that. It seems like it's all that, but like, I was a popular kid. I went to all the parties. They were fucking lame. I had to leave. Okay, so like, it's not all that it seems. And money and class and all these different things are not all that it seems. Again, like, I lived those lives. I saw it all. People like to keep up images. They like to keep up this idea that they're the best, that the lives they live are the best. It helps them sleep at night. Just remember that too. So, you had it here first. We're going to be the cool kids. Like, honestly, I think I'm a cool kid. I don't have many friends at this school. I'm not part of a group. I'm not part of the popular groups. I think I'm a fucking cool kid, though. Because you know what? I go around and I'm 100% myself, and I do weird, random things, and I have really fun stories to tell, and I think it makes me pretty goddamn cool. I run a podcast. I go out and buy like 5 packs of chocolate covered peanut butter cups at a time. Do you understand how cool that makes me? You know, I used to have the worst eating disorder ever, and now I can just go out and buy chocolate covered peanut butter cups and keep them in a drawer next to my bed. I used to have fucking bulimia. I would eat that shit and then throw it up. And now I can just keep it in my bedside table and eat it when I want. Do you understand how cool that makes me, guys? It makes me so cool. How else am I cool? I like that I buy all my clothes really like secondhand because I am like I'm against consumerism, and or not secondhand, but like, you know, the real like, I like designer stuff. I'm not gonna say I don't. I really do. But I think it just helps me and my conscience like to buy it from secondhand places or like resale places, because this consumer culture like kills me. I think that makes me cool. I think the fact that I write music is cool. You know, I am becoming more confident in playing, you know, in front of people, and I'm gonna busk soon, and I think that makes me cool. Just the fact that I have a passion and I kind of see it through a little bit. And I just do it, and I don't care really what people think or if they think I'm talented or I'm not. I ride a Vespa. I think that makes me cool. I have a podcast where I just overshare. I think that makes me pretty cool. I eat lunch by myself. I think that makes me cool. Who has the guts to do that? You know? So what I'm saying here, guys, is not that you have to do any of the things I do to be cool. I'm saying what you do is cool. It's just all about how you see it. And I deem you cool, okay? I deem you cool. Just own it. Own what you do, and it's cool, okay? We're the coolest kids out there. We're the coolest kids out there. Okay. I think that is a good place to end today's episode. It was a little bit messy, but I'm so tired, and I gotta go get lunch, and then I'm gonna walk some dogs, and then I'm gonna do nothing. Oh, I'm gonna do yoga this evening, which I think I'm excited for. But But yeah, that's my plan. Pretty chill, just trying to get through the day. Don't know how I'm gonna get through the day, but we'll see. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Children of Divorce. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Backstretch. Okay, we actually need to do yoga.